Hello there and welcome back. My name is Gray and this is part 2. Part dos, part ni, parts 5. Do I know any more languages? This is part 2 of my Revisiting Guild Wars series where I talk about things I like to do in Guild Wars these days and to hopefully help keep you interested in playing this 10-year-old game. So, on to the video. This is Guild Wars. It is an MMO that came out in 2005. I pretty much play the game like a single-player game. I do run around with other players sometimes, but I think the main reason I still play is that the single-player playability is so strong in this game. If you haven't seen Part 1, then don't worry. You won't need to watch any previous ones or any ones to come to get what this video is about. Part 1 just focused on my main character, my monk. So if you're not into monking it up, then you might not benefit from watching it. It is the intro, so I think it's worth watching, but in these videos, I will be showing each of my characters. Builds I enjoy using, my team builds, and things I like doing in Guild Wars these days. If you would like to see any other Guild Wars videos, leave a comment or a suggestion and I will surely make it. I don't do speed clears, however. This here is my ranger, Shinzo Takatoe. Just like my monk, don't ask me where I got the name from. It was just something I made up 8 years ago. He doesn't have a lot of playtime, just under 400 hours, and I really haven't played him much until recently. And that is because I never found a build that I liked using with him until now. Something I kind of forgot to do in the first part, which I really don't even have to do, but I forgot to show the equipment I use for the characters and the heroes, or the character. It's singular, not plural. Character and heroes. Just something that might interest some people and might give you some ideas. There will be 3 main topics in this video. First will be the builds I like to use. My favorite ones and ones I think are neat. Second will be my team builds. And thirdly will be what I like to use a character for and what I like to do nowadays. So maybe you can get some ideas from this that'll help you enjoy this good old game. Alright, time for the builds. And the first build we're going to load up is a build called Ranger Mesmer Burning Arrow Interrupt Player. I normally sort out my builds by like player and hero. Alright, the build consists of Rapid Fire, Burning Arrow, Savage Shot, Distracting Shot. You move like a dwarf, Ebon Vanguard Assassin support, Power Drain, and Leech Signet for energy management. And it's okay energy management, but you've gotta watch what you're doing. I typically like to use these two as opposed to Distracting Shot and Savage Shot because these still, the arrow has to leave your bow and then hit the target, so it's not an immediate interrupt. These two are immediate, and they give you energy. Something I also do with this build is swap out Burning Arrow for Melandra's Shot. Which inflicts bleeding and sometimes cripples. With this team build I use, it helps a little more than Burning Arrow, but flames are awesome, so there's that. I'm actually not a huge fan of bow builds. I find them kind of annoying. They're slow, they miss a lot of the time, and they generally do little damage. Something new I'm going to start doing with these builds in this video, and the ones to come, probably just the melee and the physical builds, is testing them out on the Master of Damage to see how they compare. Compare the ones in the specific video, not compare like a ranger build to a necro build, not like that. But just mainly damage, but also energy management and usability of the build. The bow I'm using is a non-inscriptable 1550 Q12 Celestial Bow. It was just a drop I got somewhere. I can't remember where I got it. I got it years ago. Okay, and next up is a couple of Spirit Spammer builds. For those of you who don't know, Spirit Spammer builds work awesome on Rangers because of the expertise attribute. For every rank of expertise, your rituals cost 4% less energy. So with this build, I have 12 expertise with a 3+1 rune armor setup. That makes some rituals cost 48% less energy. And the game will round that up to 50% for rituals that cost 10 energy. So they end up costing 5 energy. But on spells with odd numbers like 5, 15, and 25, with 12 expertise, it will round down. So ones that cost 5 energy will actually cost 3 instead of 2. With 13 expertise, though, so that's 52% less energy cost. 5 energy rituals cost 2 energy. Just something to keep in mind when you're distributing your attribute points. This build spreads attribute points out between 4 different attributes. So those 11 extra attribute points that it takes to get 13 expertise can be put somewhere different. And the energy management with this setup is perfect, though. So I don't need 13 expertise. Now, the Spirit Spam build is the one I use in PvE most of the time when I go Spirit Spammer. Okay, now where the hell are we? I hear some freaking ghouls, I think. Yes, I think that is what I hear. Oh, they don't actually show up when you hold down control. That's odd. But we are in Delesio Seaboard, and I'm going to load up my Spirit Spam build called Spirit Spam Feather, which is the next one I'm going to show you. If you can read the itty-bitty tiny green text there, then damn, girl, you got some good eyes. But this Spirit Spam build I use for farming feathers. I haven't farmed feathers with this build in years. So when I was checking out builds to feature in the video, I actually farmed feathers for an hour. Yeah, I got kind of sidetracked. I ended up getting right at a stack and a half in that time, though. So it was pretty profitable, I think. The only thing I use feathers for nowadays are consets. I just do it in normal mode. I think some people might farm this in hard mode, but I have no clue what they use to farm it with. Normal mode with this is a breeze, though. Like, it's so easy. You don't even need any healing. Which actually, the clip I'm going to show you, I actually almost die. Which is the first time that's actually happened. Well, I guess vampirism kind of heals a little. One thing I do that most people probably won't be able to do is I use the Legionnaire Summon when I farm feathers. I've actually taken on three groups of the Tengus and didn't struggle at all. I said it last episode, but the Legionnaire Summon is the best item in the game, in my opinion. And he doesn't even affect drops. So it's like free damage. And yep, the tried and trusted Assassin's Promise Collar again. This is one I use for my Ranger. I actually hardly ever use this build. I only use it when I can't go with my favorite build, which I'll be showing next. I have Brambles right there, but I don't actually find it very useful since it takes a whopping 5 seconds to cast. It's just for some extra conditions. So I use this build sometimes when I can't use the other build that I use, which I'm showing next. I rarely play my Ranger up until a couple months ago, but now he's one of my favorite characters to play because of this build. I call this build Expert's Dagger. It's just a Ranger Dagger spammer build, and it can put out a butt ton of damage. The daggers I use are Oroku's Slicers. Right here. They are 15% plus damage while enchanted, which is okay because of the team build that I use. There's this, and they have armor plus 5 instead of plus 30 health, which, I mean, that's okay. But I just love the skin. They are a green you can get from one of the Imperial Guard lock boxes from the Winds of Change questline. And just so happen to be over here close to the person that you get them from. It's Zan Lei, Imperial Guard Requisition Officer. You turn... what is it? You turn those things in, and you get the Imperial Guard lockbox, and you can get that green out of there, as well as a bunch of other stuff and other greens, but yeah, don't expect to get the one you want. I've probably opened about 30 boxes, and I got that dagger. I wasn't trying to get that dagger, but I just got it, and I was like, wow, I really like it. It uses the same skin as the Shinobi Blade, which is actually a sword. So this is a unique dagger skin. I think they fit this character great. And this build works a lot better if you have the 5th Norn title track, since you gain the most benefit from your Norn skills at Title 5, which is Slayer of Worms. And the build consists of, I am the strongest. Your next 8 attacks deal plus 20 damage. So every time you attack, you deal 20 damage on top of the damage you do. I am unstoppable. And Expert's Dexterity, which is why I call the build Expert's Dagger. It's just a stance, and all it does is it makes you attack 33% faster. It lasts for 21 seconds with 16 expertise, and it recharges in 20. So that's a pretty small window there, but I mean, that's okay. And with these half-second like dagger attacks with 33% faster attacking speed, just looks crazy. Yeah, but I have Jagged Strike, Fox Fangs, and Death Blossom. And then I have Dodge This, which requires 4 adrenaline. It's a shout, and it deals 20 damage, and it makes your next attack unblockable. Which, if you, with the team build that I have, and I am the strongest, and Dodge This, I can make Death Blossom easily do over 250 damage on almost anything. So Death Blossom attacks twice. Almost every single time I use Death Blossom, it's over double hundreds. So it can easily deal over 200 damage to almost anything, the way I use it. Actually, the team build I use is almost exactly the same as my monk, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. I use Oleus, Master of Whispers. I don't actually use Razah. I use Livia, Norgu, Gwen, Zoundra, and then I add Dunkoro instead of Razah. And the reason being is because on Dunkoro, I have Strength of Honor. And with 15 Smiting Prayers, it can make me deal 25 more damage. So that's like 20, 40, 65 damage on top. Like possible 65 damage on top of what I'm already doing with one attack. So with this, that one, and that one, even on a normal hit, I can deal close to 100 damage, which is crazy. And he's just got Smite Hex, Reversal of Damage, Rev Judgment, Rebirth, Aegis, Power Drain, and Leech Signet. And you really don't have to worry about energy management for this guy, or for this build. I've actually watched him a lot. Because Strength of Honor, when you keep it on you, it makes his energy regeneration go down by one little thing. So he only has 3 energy regeneration. But I've watched him a lot, and out of the whole team, he always has the most energy. So the energy management on him is great. And lastly, I have another bonus build to show off. This one is a Ranger Assassin build used for farming destroyers in glint'schallenge in the Central Transfer Chamber for golds, tomes, and destroyer cores. And during holiday events for like holiday drops too. But there are probably other farms that are better for doing that. But hey, I mean, if you want destroyer cores, if you're trying to get the destroyer gauntlets, I think they're gauntlets. Yeah, those. If you're trying to get those, I mean, yeah. I'm not sure the exact amount of destroyers, but there's a lot of them. So it's pretty key that you use this exact build, as every single skill is required to do the farm. You also have to use a sword, an axe, or a spear with a 20% enchant on it. You can't use a staff, and you cannot do the run unless you also have a shield. It doesn't matter the requirement, just max armor, but you must have a shield with the max inscription through thick and thin, which gives plus 10 armor against piercing damage. All of that stuff is required to complete this, so it may take a little bit to get started and learn the farm. Also, there can be a bit of lag at the end, as you'll see, because when you use whirling defense to kill the destroyers, the damage spike is so intense that it can freeze your game for a second or two, as the game calculates what the fuck just happened. And the build consists of Deadly Paradox and Shadow Form, of course, Storm Chaser for energy management, actually, Shroud of Distress, Way of Perfection, Great Door for Armor, Mental Block, and Whirling Defense. Every single one of these skills is as useful as the others. The reason why you have Way of Perfection, you don't actually use it for its effect. You use it because of Shadow Form. Because with Shadow Form, for every Assassin enchantment you have on you, you gain 5 damage reduction. So with Shadow Form, Shroud of Distress, and Way of Perfection, that's 15 damage reduction. So Way of Perfection is there just for an extra 5 damage reduction. Storm Chaser, it lasts 10 seconds, 20-second recharge. Every time you take elemental damage, you gain 2 energy. Which, I think it's just the Ritualists, the Ritualist destroyers, that, it might not be actually. It might be all of them. No, I don't think it's all of them, because sometimes you don't actually gain energy when you have it on. But yeah, that's energy management, but you have to be careful not to cast it after Deadly Paradox and before Shadow Form. So use these two, and then after you cast those, then you can use Storm Chaser and keep it up for however long in between Shadow Form. So make sure you don't cast them too close together and they overlap and disable one of them. Shroud of Stress, Great Door of Armor, which is perfect against destroyers. Mental Block, you have 50% chance to block, and it renews every time you block. Oh wait, no, it's actually the opposite. It renews every time an enemy hits you. So there's a part at the end where you have to go around a corner and you don't take hits. So you have to be careful and make sure that doesn't end. And if it does, you recast it. And then Whirling Defense, you pull all the destroyers together and you just walk up by them and click that, and boom, your game freezes. And then they're dead. Alright, and that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Wait, actually, no, not yet. Yeah, that's right. Some things that I've been doing on this character. Yeah, I just started playing this character, I don't know, a few months ago. And I've been using this build. Man, I love this build. It does so much freaking damage. There is There's actually one or two things that can shut this build down. One of them is blindness or spells that make you miss. But if you know you're going to an area where that happens, like especially over here in Ula's lab, they have, I think a lot of the golems have blinding flash or something that blinds you. So bringing a skill like Azure Scan to areas like that where enemies are going to blind you helps out a lot. Because it can be just kind of annoying when you can't do any damage. Even though you're doing fine, you're not doing any damage and you're annoyed. So just bring that if you're going to be blocked or going to be missing any. And the other is a hex called Empathy. Yeah, if you're in hard mode and you're fighting like a high level enemy, especially a boss with Empathy, Jesus Christ, I mean, you can be dead in just like 2 attacks with Empathy. If you don't have, who is it? What is it? Wasn't it? Shelter and Union. Yeah, if you don't have Shelter and Union up, I mean, 2 attacks will pretty much like wipe you, because this build attacks so fast you might not even notice what you're doing. Because if you have a high damage Empathy on you, you're attacking so quick and you don't even notice, and then you do click, 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 bam, you're dead, and it's that quick. So sometimes having a hex removal can work very well. The main thing I've been doing on this character, well, actually, you can't really see it from here, but I've been going around doing some dungeons in hard mode, some vanquishing, some stuff, and I believe he was actually already through all of the games before I started playing him again, about a month ago. But I do need to go to the Ascalon area because I've never actually been there. I'm sure that might hold me back doing something sometime that'll come to bite me in the ass. So, yeah, enough rambling from me. So, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next GuildWars video. Later.